Installation of the new door was done smoothly with no issues. Call Steve's Garage Doors and Services today at 402-480-9462.
Attention all Wings fans. 89-cent wings are back on Tuesdays at Buffalo Wings and Rings in Lincoln. Enjoy the best wings in town for boneless or traditional at a price that makes the whole family happy. And now at the Williamsburg Village Wings and Rings, you can enjoy $1.50 tall boys in Bud Light, Coors Light, Busch Light, and Michelob Ultra every day after Wings and Rings today. And make sure to stop by on Tuesdays for 89-cent wings.
You deserve the best. With a Liberty First MasterCard, you can pay down your high-rate debt and could save hundreds when you transfer the balance. The Liberty First Credit Union MasterCard has no balance transfer fees, no cash advance fees, and no annual fee. And with a fixed rate as low as 9.99% APR and you choose rewards, you'll be able to manage your card your way. Visit libertyfirstcu.com. Rates and terms are based on your credit and subject to change. Federally insured by NCUA. Liberty First Credit Union. Banking with purpose.
Arnold's Tavern in Havelock is the place to be this summer and the best place in town for shuffleboard. Come on Wednesdays and learn from some of the best players in town for the Shuffleboard Corner. Come on Sundays for Open House League all day starting at 11 a.m. and enjoy $3 tall boys and $3 wells. Shake off the start to the work week with karaoke on Monday nights. And don't forget, happy hour is every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and you are always welcome to bring in your own food. Arnold's Tavern in the heart of Havelock.
Integrated Life Choices has been inspiring opportunities for individuals with disabilities for more than 15 years in Lincoln and across Nebraska by offering a number of services. From group homes to independent living resources and job training, you'll find the support that allows people to live fulfilling lives. They're also hiring. If you're looking for a rewarding career supporting people with developmental disabilities, you can check out open positions along with learning more about services at ilc.net. Integrated Life Choices.
Hi everyone, Kendall Warnock with A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. If you're looking for an automotive repair facility you can genuinely trust, we would be grateful for the opportunity to earn your business repairing your vehicle. We have ASE master technicians and qualified to work on a variety of vehicles from Hondas to Porsches, Jaguars to Toyotas, and Chevrolets to Fords. We pride ourselves on customer service and relationships, and we would be grateful for the opportunity to serve you. Give us a call at 402-477-4660. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
Plains Cover Crop is your one-stop feed shop. Call us now for spring and summer forages, CRP mixes, and fall cover crop blends. We do farm-specific consulting for practical and efficient seed blends to fit your geography and goals. With a very diverse inventory, we will tailor a blend just for you. We're also looking for contract growers, and we buy and sell rye. Find us online at plainscovercrop.com. Timeless agronomy practices paired with modern technology. East Highway 20 in Orchard and across Nebraska.
Load up on meat and more this summer at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese at 84th and Havelock. This week's specials through August 15th are $2 off packaged grass-fed, grass-finished New York strip with limit of 2 per visit. And don't forget to check out their Friday feast this week and every week. Plus, big news, they have 2 new locations now open at 30th and Yankee Hill in Lincoln and 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
At first, I was really nervous and intimidated to buy a ring. I wasn't sure what I was getting into.
My experience at Starter Heyman was very easy. I felt like I walked out of Starter Heyman with the ring that was going to make her go wow and say yes.
I love my ring. It is so beautiful.
I absolutely love my ring. I get compliments on it all the time. I always tell them Starter Heyman.
Yeah, we would definitely recommend Starter Heyman.
Yeah, it was great.
We're definitely coming back. Sure. Starter Heyman Jewelers, Lincoln and Grand Island. StarterHeyman.com.
Serve Nebraska believes that volunteers are part of what makes Nebraska great. Each year, the Step Forward Awards honors volunteers from across the state who serve their communities in outstanding ways. We hope you'll join us this year at the Step Forward Awards Luncheon on October 6th in Lincoln. To register, visit serve.nebraska.gov and click Register Now. We hope to see you there. Paid for by Serve Nebraska, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is Old School, sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Broadcasting veteran Derek Pearson.
When you find something that moves them, that makes them smile, celebrate it. That's your task. That's your superpower.
Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman.
Rifles a pass. It was tipped. It's picked off by Foreman. He's at the 15, 10, 5. He'll score!
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're here. It is fast. We call this Fast Friday because Friday comes real fast, man. And we are here on August 11th. It's now exactly 20 days before they kick off. In 3 weeks, it'll be the day after, right? Either be happy or sad. But this is Jay Foreman, DP, Old School, brought to you by the Mercado, Certified Piedmontese, Special Ingredients and Butcher Shop, located at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill. And, we're already there, Austin. We just give us 10 days. We went 9, and we're going to go 10 because we got even numbers. But the Mercado, they got good food, good eats, and good service, and good environment as well. So tell everybody to go. Jake Sorensen's busy, but he's going to get everybody a coupon. I keep saying it until it comes to fruition. But we are here getting busy on a Friday. A lot to talk about. One thing I want to talk about with you guys and you get your thought about it. I was just scrolling through ESPN and just was looking, and they had a couple I guess I wouldn't say recruits, transfers that had the second transferred twice and were waiting on a waiver, and some of them were actually legit. We're getting closer to home. Obviously it's when they were in the transfer portal, obviously they're looking for a new opportunity. Let's not be stupid. You know what I mean? And they got denied, and the NCAA cited the 2 transfer rule. Right now, I'm sure they can appeal because I'm sure they just got just one blanket email. Just once you just probably, they didn't really. It sounds like the NCAA didn't do a lot of looking into it. But I want your guys' thoughts on it because look, we got a big hole at tight end, I guess, and. We're waiting there. I'm assuming they're waiting, and we haven't heard yay or nay. So I wanted to get your guys' thoughts of if it does come to fruition or if it doesn't, obviously how it affects the team, but more importantly, affects Mr. Gilbert because, he's came here from what I've been told, and he's gotten in better shape. He was kind of off last year, doing things, getting his schoolwork, and then he obviously arrived in Nebraska with a lot of fanfare and expectations, and had a really good summer from all the reports. And so talk about how that could or couldn't affect the team because he's obviously a big dude, but then it could be a big part of this offense as a former #1 overall tight end recruit, and obviously starting his career at LSU and being a really good player.
I think it's a dumb execution of a dumb rule. It's not necessary. Every collegiate athlete situation is different. Each and every single one. And when you blanket it and say, listen, simple rules if you transfer twice. No, that's not the rule. Like that's not the purpose of the rule. That's not what you're trying to do. And ultimately, again, tell me NCAA without telling me what your focus is. Tell me what your focus is. Right. You can't tell me it's about the student athletes and the experience.
Yeah, that's over.
Right. You can't tell me you can't tell me that anymore. Like you stop lying to me about why you are this association and what your purpose and mission is. Also, for the universities, listen, same thing applies. You can no longer tell me if you're gonna go to people's houses, sit in their living room on their couch, eat their dinner, lie to the parents, get the kids there, and then not take care of them, and then not follow through, and then not fight for that kid. When that kid needs you, when the kid said, you know what you say, Jay, when one of your kids came to you and said, you know what, coach, I need to play for somebody else. Not because I don't love you, not because you ain't teaching me, but I'm not good enough to play for you the way I want to play. So can I go somewhere else? You would absolutely pat them on the back, hug them, call the next coach, and send them on their way. That's what we're supposed to be doing. This is all nonsense. It's just nonsense to hurt these young people who haven't done anything wrong.
It's a rule for the coaches, not for the players.
Yeah, I think it's I understand the rule because you're trying to, on the surface, create an environment that you just can't. I'm not starting. I'm not okay. Then I transfer. Oh, I'm not starting here. Then I'll be here. But with the transfer portal, NIL, and COVID in particular, all those rules are kind of out the door. Because how long do you get an extra year of COVID? I guess you could say you're fortunate to have that extra year. Ottman Bell up in Minnesota, that's how he's there for another year in the 7th year. And normally he would have to appeal because he got, I don't know how many games until he hurt his knee last year. He'd have to appeal to try to get that year back. Well, he didn't have to. So that's another appeal that the University of Minnesota football team, PJ Fleck or whoever, has in their back pocket. You know what I'm saying? And so, I think it's
how many rules are there in play for coaches about how many jobs they can carry, how many schools they can coach at, how many rules exist?
Right. Yeah. It's not. I mean, you could get.
It doesn't exist.
It's not.
It doesn't exist.
It's not. But the difference is just on the very surface. The coaches have a union. Okay, the players don't. My man up in Northwestern a few years ago tried to start it and tried to put you on Game Before. He kind of was in the forefront, and it kind of got a little bit of news on ESPN. They had a press conference, and then everybody dispersed. COVID hit, allowed you to do some NIL. Then NIL is really taken off, right? Because you remember when NIL kind of just got pushed through. I've never seen anything get pushed through. I think it was Congress or whatever had their meeting. Then next thing you know, everybody's tweeting. As of now, I'm open for anything. Every player in Nebraska did it, and then across the nation. I just all I'm going to say is I do understand that you need to have a rule on how many times you can transfer. I do understand that. Then I'm going to say I don't understand it, because just say you started, in his case, he starts at LSU, he's at Georgia. Clearly he ain't going to play at Georgia. Okay. Georgia's got Bowers, and they got
Darnell Washington.
Yeah, Darnell Washington, and then they got another Bowers coming in, and then they already had a little Bowers 2.0 that redshirted last year. Clearly he ain't playing, and clearly he's not in their plans. So essentially what you're saying is you just got to stay here where you're not. I guess not. I wouldn't say wanted, but
you're not wanted. You're not appreciated. You're not valued.
It's not going to work out. I mean, these guys are just better than you. Whatever the circumstances are, and it could be a circumstances of timing, and that's the way. And that's a big thing in sports. And it's no different than the draft. It's no different than baseball. Why can't he go? So then now you're saying he has to go down a level and then come back up?
But why would – here's the part, I get where you're going with it and having a rule in place. So at least there's some standard. But why are we asking 17-year-olds to make the perfect 5-year decision or the perfect 2 5-year decision? You're 17 years old. You don't know what you're doing. The adults know what they're doing. And what adults allowed – look, the adults are in place to assess – they're the paid professionals to assess talent, to know who can play on their team, who know who can play in their system, who can fit into their academic profile, and will be a decent addition to campus. That's the adults part. The kids are 17. They ain't never been on campus at Georgia. They ain't never been on campus at Alabama. How are they going to know? Maybe they belong at James Madison. Maybe look, we know of some athletes who started in Nebraska, end up at Wesleyan because they went to Nebraska and said, you know what? That's not for me. I was wrong. Let me go somewhere else. And then if somebody at the work, because of the work you did at Wesleyan, said, you know what? You may be not Nebraska, but maybe Texas is for you. Maybe Hawaii is for you. Why would we put the boundary on the teenagers? They're not grown-ups. I hate to tell you, they're not grown-ups.
But what they did was they allowed you to bring, a mentor or parents or somebody that could help you with those decisions. Still, those aren't decisions.
Don't know.
But they're allowing you, because that was part of the thing where you're just getting here. It's only 2 visits, so now you're allowed to pay for parents to come. And in that case of Wesleyan, you're going down to go up. What they're trying to do is not to have you have 5 different places. But at this point in time,
why does it matter?
It shouldn't. I'm just saying I could understand it, because
I didn't have Chuck Foreman.
You're trying. It's not about that.
Uncle Blood. No. Your people had experience in it. They knew what recruiting was about. They knew what other campuses were about, what college coaches are about. They knew all of that stuff. My stepdad wasn't an athlete, didn't go to college, had zero idea. My mother didn't have an idea. So why would you and I be put in the same pool to say you got to make the same decisions with the same resources when it's not the case?
Yeah, if it doesn't work out, then yeah, you give them a chance. But what they're trying to find a way for kids just not to just jump ship when stuff gets hard. That's the
let them. That's what kids are.
Right, but I mean that's not that's not the cause of the experience. That's first of all, that's not even sports. When you start to face competition, then you just try to find the easy landing spot. That's what they're trying to eliminate. But every situation isn't a blanket situation. That's the reason or that.
That's the Jay Foreman. That's the Jay Foreman philosophy I need to buy into, right? That your way of thinking about it, you still care about the young people. Like no matter what, you care about the athlete.
There's no right answer to it. I just don't think you need to draw the line in the sand if he or she in these situations as well, because other people are going to get caught up in this matrix or vortex of transfer portal or transferring. And if they find a situation where they're flourishing at, then so be it. Here and then look, I can compromise. Okay, I can compromise. If you choose to use, and this could be a decent solution. If you choose to say it's not within a family, I guess maybe say 100 miles of family, right? Okay, and you choose to go from Georgia to Nebraska. Oh, and you have to sit out. Why do you have to sit out a whole season? Okay, why if it's your first time doing it? So say it's your second time. Why can't you miss 2 games? Why can't you? And say you just said, you know what? I'm not getting enough balls at Nebraska. I want to go to Iowa State. Okay, so now you're on your 4th, right? Okay, then why don't you sit out 4 games? That's why can't there be a compromise? Why does it have to be okay? Well, you just haven't made the right decision twice. Well, now you just can't play for a year.
Isn't that what college is for? For you to learn how to be a grown up and make mistakes and adjust and then grow forward. Like that's the whole college experience. That's what it's supposed to be about.
Right.
Meet people who are sometimes more talented than you are, sometimes work harder than you do, and then you learn and go, you assess and go, you know what? I'm not on the top level. I'm not on the dean's list. Okay. And the dean's list ain't for everybody. Okay. Maybe I'm not an A student, but I can be a B student. Yeah. And maybe I'm a B athlete. Maybe I'm a C athlete, which is still elite. And there's a place for me in the country. Let me find that place and let me identify that, you know what? I look at Jay Foreman. If I'm walking in the same building and Jay Foreman is in my position, you know what? I'm making a business decision.
Right. Here, look, it's all good to allow you to make those decisions multiple times.
Yeah.
What I would like to see happen. Okay, make this decision, but understand there's repercussions come with it, and not just let me just jettison you for a year and just because then you got a guy okay, I don't want to sit out a year. I'd rather maybe stay where I'm at. And then you're not a productive player for where you would want to leave. And now you're in a locker room. No, you look granted.
Yeah, you're just stuck.
You're just stuck.
Yeah.
So, okay, you want to transfer? Okay, why not sit out 2 games? And we can go in between 2 and 4, 3. And then, so when you're making these decisions, right? So they're not impulsive. You're not just, again, you're helping, I guess the NCAA, you're not just getting a free pass to do it, right? You get what I'm saying? So then, okay, that's helping them, or to circumvent so you won't make those decisions impulsively. And then also, you're actually teaching the kid, okay, as you continue to make this, I guess, wrong decisions, there is something that you have to give up, which is football.
I'm going to go on the wrong decision thing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
I'm trying to figure out the right word for it.
It's a lesson. You learned a lesson.
Because at the time, maybe it seemed like the right decision because you went through the process. Maybe it seemed right. Maybe in retrospect, it was the less right decision, or maybe that's a door that wasn't available to you at that point. Sometimes you have to make a less right decision. That's the right decision at the time.
Well, things change.
To learn.
Hold on. Things change. Austin could recruit me as a linebacker coach. You get a job to be a coordinator, or you end up being a linebacker coach at the NFL. Things change. Well, okay, that's fine. There's an old saying, lesson learned is a lesson paid for. So you have to pay something if you're learning a lesson. after the two transfer rule.
I'll say this, and this is where, as we get into it, and I just have to focus and remember. Okay, in high school, let's change it from sports to dating. Okay, talent, skill, some things still measure, right?
Right, sure. I mean,
important decisions,
right.
important decisions, because bad things can happen if you make bad dating decisions, right?
Shapes how you
across the board,
in your future,
how you live your future, right? We know a whole lot of people made
Right.
some decisions in high school that followed them forever. Okay, are we saying that we expect high school kids and college kids to date one person and be stuck to that forever?
I didn't meet my wife in high school. If you're telling me I had to marry someone from my high school, probably not married.
You couldn't marry, I know I couldn't marry the first person I dated in college, or the second, or the third. What I learned was I dated smarter as I went through it. I had to make mistakes. That's how all diamonds are built. Friction is required. And so allow young, talented people, high academic folks, right? Everybody there, these are all people at the top of their high school classes, right? Nobody's getting in from the bottom of their high school course. And if they are, again, blame the adults. So you figured out how to excel academically, excel socially, and then excel athletically. And you're elite. If you're in the discussion to be at Nebraska, Iowa, Georgia, whoever it is, you're in the top percentile, right? Even if you're at the bottom of that percentile, your place may be, and who comes to mind now is Gary Clark and Charles Haley. They played at James Madison University. They looked at Virginia. They looked at Virginia Tech. Gary committed to Virginia and said, no. I looked over there and went, one, I got there and the coaches were not who they said they were. Two, the system changed and I would have been a blocking wide receiver. Or I can say, this was a mistake. I'm going to go to James Madison. I'm still elite. I'm just in a place that is better for me to be the best version of me down the road. Charles Haley, same thing. He had to go to college and learn how to be a student. He didn't know. And if he had gone to a big Power 5, he would have flunked out and been one of them stories. And we would have missed out on two of the best football players to ever walk the planet if we had put simple boundaries in place that were uniform and universal to say, you can't change because you made a decision.
Yeah, I mean, if you the pre-transfer portal person had to sit out a year, there's no better example than quite frankly, top 5 or probably top 8 basketball players all the time. Larry Bird, he went to Indiana.
Yep.
Had a different situation. Went to Indiana State. Had to sit out a year. All I'm saying is, why can't I get it? If you want to look, it's there. Okay, I understand the rule, and I'm all for it. Look, you got a lot of guys. High percentage of them will transfer more times than not because they're not getting what they want instantly. Okay, that's fine. You can have a 2 transfer rule, and then after that, you got to start paying it. It one, NCAA gets what they want. Number 2, you're teaching and learning lessons, and then also you're letting them know to really think about it. The coach got after me because I was late to practice. I haven't been practicing that hard. I'm underweight or overweight, so. Okay, then you know what? Sitting out 3 or 4 games might not be really worth it because those type of things are transferable. That gonna go with you. You're not gonna be able to just turn the light switch on and say, you know what, I'm just all of a sudden gonna be all in because I gotta change the scenery.
Somebody could have came in and said to Jay, you know what, I think you're an NFL running back, and he wouldn't have been wrong for considering because he had the talent, he had done the work, and then it's a possibility. Somebody could have came and said, hey, you're gonna be a Pro Bowl safety, and gone to dad and said, hey, bro, you go to Miami, you'd be that's the next one in safety, right? And you're not wrong because Miami and Nebraska agreed that you were academically eligible, athletically gifted, and that you could do both things in either place. That's why they recruited, and that's why they battled for it.
And a big deal is with these kids now, and you see it because of the way kids are. One, they instead of embracing competition, they try to go around it, and that's the product of the environment that you're initially in, right? And generally, you go to the kids from Georgia say, if you don't want to work hard and make sacrifices, Georgia is not the place for you. And you know what? The way that they work might be placed somewhere else, or they do seem to change their mind multiple times. And that's something that happens way before college.
Yeah.
Because look at basketball. You'll have kids that'll play for, I've seen kids at tournaments literally show up with a big bag and have four jerseys there. Mm-hmm. So how are they really committed to, say, game one on a Saturday, knowing they have 4 more games for 3 other teams later on, throughout the day?
Who are the adults that allowed that? Like, he didn't go steal a jersey.
It's not even you can't blame the adults for everything. It's just the product.
No, you really should.
You can, because there's so many options for these kids to play. It has nothing to do with their parents.
Well, but not the parents, the coaches. Listen, you would not allow somebody to use you for leverage to somebody else. You wouldn't allow it.
No, but I mean that's
all
the biggest moneymaker going on right now is youth sports.
Yeah,
and it's trickling into high school,
which is a whole other problem.
Oh well, we're gonna dive into it because the modern day Larry Bird is just reclassified.
Yeah,
and if you've seen him play, he is legit,
and you know where he's going,
and he's legit, and he had a reason to.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to talk about guys reclassified when they're younger and ready to do it, or when parents hold them back so they can beat up on younger kids as well. So we're going to dive into it on this Fast Friday. DPJ Foreman, Old School. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Old School with DP and J. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Load up on meat and more this summer at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese at 84th and Havelock. This week's specials through August 15th are $2 off packaged grass-fed, grass-finished New York strip with limit of 2 per visit. And don't forget to check out their Friday feast this week and every week. Plus, big news, they have 2 new locations now open at 30th and Yankee Hill in Lincoln and 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Vershawn Jackson for Brandt Excavating. Brandt's been in business for 29 years, and they specialize in a variety of things. If you're looking for someone to get the job done in precision demolition, excavating, trucking, mass grading, and site prep, Brandt is the place to call. To set up a quote or learn more, call Brandt Excavating at 402-474-4113 or go to BrandtExcavating.com. They're also hiring, so join the team today. Brandt Excavating, a part of the Bauer brand, who reminds you, go big Brandt.
Serve Nebraska believes that volunteers are part of what makes Nebraska great. Each year, the Step Forward Awards honors volunteers from across the state who serve their communities in outstanding ways. We hope you'll join us this year at the Step Forward Awards Luncheon on October 6th in Lincoln. To register, visit serve.nebraska.gov and click Register Now. We hope to see you there. Paid for by Serve Nebraska, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Integrated Life Choices has been inspiring opportunities for individuals with disabilities for more than 15 years in Lincoln and across Nebraska by offering a number of services. From group homes to independent living resources and job training, you'll find the support that allows people to live fulfilling lives. They're also hiring. If you're looking for a rewarding career supporting people with developmental disabilities, you can check out open positions along with learning more about services at ilc.net. Integrated Life Choices.
Are you working in or looking to get into the electrical construction industry? The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
You've driven by GE Landscape Supply countless times, likely without even knowing, at 6701 Cornhusker Highway. Now it's time to stop in. GE Landscape Supply sells to homeowners and contractors with a vast selection of landscaping and construction materials. They sell in bulk to save you money, and you can buy anything from a 5-gallon bucket to a semi-load. And don't forget, they deliver anywhere. Stop by 6701 Cornhusker Highway from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday to Friday and 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Saturdays. Go to GELandscapesupply.com for more info or call 402-467-1627.
At first, I was really nervous and intimidated to buy a ring. I wasn't sure what I was getting into.
My experience at Starter Heyman was very easy. I felt like I walked out of Starter Heyman with the ring that was going to make her go wow and say yes.
I love my ring. It is so beautiful.
I absolutely love my ring. I get compliments on it all the time. I always tell them Starter Heyman.
Yeah, we would definitely recommend Sutter Heyman.
Yeah, it was great.
We're definitely coming back.
Sure.
Sutter Heyman Jewelers, Lincoln and Grand Island. SutterHeyman.com.
Working at Continental in Lincoln isn't a job, it's a career. And right now, they've raised wages again, and they're hiring for production operators at $24.62 per hour, which grows to $28.97 per hour within 3 years. Skilled trade positions now start at $33.36 per hour, with opportunities to make more based on certifications. Continental also has salary jobs available and great benefits, plus medical and prescription costs at very low premiums. Dental, vision, and life insurance are offered at no premium cost to the associates, with increased bonuses and vacation for new hires. To learn more or apply, go to continentaljobs.com with keyword Lincoln. Come work at Continental today.
Plains Cover Crop is your one-stop seed shop. Call us now for spring and summer forages, CRP mixes, and fall cover crop blends. We do farm-specific consulting for practical and efficient seed blends to fit your geography and goals. With a very diverse inventory, we will tailor a blend just for you. We're also looking for contract growers, and we buy and sell rye. Find us online at plainscovercrop.com. Timeless agronomy practices paired with modern technology. East Highway 20 in Orchard and across Nebraska.
Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket.
Okay, playing 93.7 The Ticket.
Alexa, turn down the lights.
Dimming the lights.
Alexa, order a pizza. The big one. All the toppings.
Are you sure that's a good idea?
Alexa.
That's a lot of pizza for just one man.
Alexa, just do it. Stop judging me, just do it.
As you wish.
Thanks, Alexa. You're my best friend.
Grandma and Grandpa, Mom and Dad, then the kids, and now the grandkids. Judson Irrigation has provided lawn sprinkler system design, installation, repair, and service to 4 generations. They're just like members of the family. Loyalty, trust, service. It's what you deserve and expect from Judson Irrigation.
Keep summer green. Call Judson Irrigation 402-420-6277 or judsonirrigation.com.
It's less than 1 month until the Guardians of Freedom Air Show comes to Lincoln's Air Park on August 26th and 27th. The show can't happen without the efforts of volunteers, and they need your help. This is a great opportunity to raise money for civic clubs, student organizations, club sports, and others who want to be close to the high-flying action. For more details on how to volunteer at the Guardians of Freedom Air Show, visit LincolnAirShow.com.
Back to old school with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What up, DP, J Foreman, Austin? We are back. Fast Friday always approaches, I would say too fast, sometimes faster than other, but we are well into it. Good first segment, talking about the waiver to transfer rule. That's always kind of, I guess it's subjective when they decide to answer those emails and or not. But we were going to talk about Cooper Flagg. I think we're going to just do that in the short segment. Okay, Austin thinks he's going to Duke, but I just got a text saying he's going to North Carolina. Sorry, Austin. But I really want to
picture. Good try.
I really want to dive into. Kurt Ferentz came out and said, "Listen, if you're betting on our games, that's a deal breaker." But he's still gathering information, which is all he can say. All right, but he said, "Listen," here's the most interesting thing, and obviously losing a top 15 pick for Iowa defensive line is, obviously it hurt any team, but he wasn't a starter. But when you think about Iowa coming back, their defensive line and defensive backs are going to be pretty tough. Guy that has started for 3 years, even 2 years ago, he doesn't look like much, but he's definitely a fire hydrant type of player, and he started for Iowa. The most prominent player in the NCAA investigation, which he took the bull by the horn and then waved his hand and said, "I'm in it too," which is probably the dumbest thing he could have done. And since he's on Iowa's team, is Noah Shannon. He had 40 some tackles, 2.5 sacks, so essentially 3 sacks. You got to think when you have one defense end at 7, one that had another had 6.5, and the guy that went top 15, he had 7. You had 3 sacks. you're a good player. So he's the most prominent player. He's number one on the depth chart, and he's in it. Kurt Ferentz says, look, obviously it is a deal breaker if you're betting on the games. Whether you can't say, I only bet for us to win. You can't do that. The kicker that I texted Austin shanked. And listen, I'm not good at golf. It looked like me just yanking a pitching wedge, off the green into the water, and it was to send Iowa into overtime. He bet the under. Okay. Now, we talked about this offline with Strick, and we talked, I guess on the crossover. The NCAA or the feds that got into this, it's not even the NCAA. This is a Fed investigation. Has given everybody forewarning. And normally the feds don't do this. And here's why, because I'm big into mafia movies and stuff like that. So, or mafia documentaries. So when they went to go bust, John Gotti or whatever, they didn't say, hey, I'm going to bust DP, the underboss, a couple weeks earlier for the same thing that I want to get the big boss. They're letting everybody process this, have some conversations, and come to us freely, right? But now you got Iowa, who's been a thorn in Nebraska's side, revamped Iowa's kind of like, when you think of what Iowa's done, the offensive line is a year older, and they were very young last year. You got 2 NFL tight ends. You got a quarterback that's obviously all conference. And you got better at the wide receiver position by accumulating a lot. And that defense is going to be there. They're kind of laying in the weeds. How much distraction do you think that is internally with Iowa?
Not enough.
No, I'm just saying, because it is, because you got to think, though.
I want more.
A guy that's one of your captains
Keep it coming.
could have been.
I want chaos, Jay.
Yeah. Well, they already got chaos with their.
I want Kirk to just walk up to the podium with
he ain't gonna. You got
with a kerchief, just like. This is how I want the press conference to begin.
They'll send you. Iowa the type of team that if they got busted, everybody betting, they would send an email.
Right? It's just like, we out
at 5:49.
No, this would be the deuces. That's all you get with an Iowa logo on it. Deuces.
Well, you got to think, though. I mean, let's really, all jokes aside, let's really look at the Iowa situation, right? Their athletic director that was hand in hand with Kurt Ferentz decided to retire out of nowhere, because you got to think, he was the head of the college football playoff committee. And he was thought of as one of him and Gene Smith. And, obviously, look, you got Iowa is not the place you think to go to get an athletic director to decide the college football playoffs, because they ain't got a chance in hell to make it, right? But he's thought of like that. He decides to retire. Then on top of it, Kurt Ferentz's son has got an average 25 or 7 points. So everybody is on thin ice. You had the racial stuff before with the weight coach. And then you have this. And then you have a player essentially jumping out there and said, they investigate me. So you already just telling people you bet.
Listen, what would he have? Look, there's a long line of things that are in play that would get most coaches fired. None of these would have gotten him fired. What would it take to get him? Like, when your football program has any of these, you're on the hot seat. He has all of these. And still, way to go, Iowa. Way to go. Classy.
I mean, do you think it's
stay classy, Iowa?
Do you think it's the winning has?
Oh, look, I told you at the top of, when you tell me who you are, I'm gonna believe you. They said winning 10 games a year is at the top of the pyramid. The rest of it don't matter. They have said this. Look, if we can fill that stadium and win 9 games, 10 games a year,
and beat Nebraska,
you can do all the gang stuff you want to do. Like, you can be as mafia as you want. They've said, listen, look, I'm not mad at them. We have a chance to see them in full. We don't care if you're racist. We don't care if you bet, if you lack integrity. We don't care. There's a whole bunch of stuff we don't care about. That's literally what they've said. So, okay, Iowa, wear the shirt, bro. This is who you are. That's your cape. You a villain. You are officially a villain. And the real part is they don't care that they're villains. They don't care.
Not for 11, not for 12, 13, 14, 15 wins.
Nope. Just don't care.
9 or 10.
Don't care.
I think for Iowa, it seems always to work out though. Well, listen though, it just something up there always works out for them. Because Kirk Ferentz said, "Listen, it's not really that big a deal right now. It's not a distraction."
Because you got he a G.
You want to know why?
Yeah.
He's like, Noah's hurt right now, and he ain't nowhere. He said he ain't nowhere close to being healthy. So and then he said, "Listen, I'll play your game. Let's just say if he was healthy, and we got maybe we talk about it." So he's just letting you know this dude ain't playing no time soon.
I'm only talking about the players who play.
Hey, move on.
I'm only talking about the players. Look, listen, them coaches. Look, they got to carry a satchel of them quotes, and they on need. Let's see which one works today. I'm only talking about the players that are playing. Thank y'all very much. Let's move along.
Yeah, I mean he also said he pretty much said what I was saying. Said, listen, Noah didn't reach the threshold.
Yeah.
Of bets, that was a big deal. But I just think here's I mean he didn't say threshold. He just said in the big scheme of things, the number of bets is a small number in terms of the big scheme of things. So essentially, the other dude that was betting $50,000, he's like, yeah, he only got
How
4.
many drugs did you use? Right. I only used 2. Right.
Not bad.
I
That's
am crushing it.
I'm
crushing it.
That's like two guys robbing a bank. One takes 10,000. What you still robbed the bank? Right?
Look, man,
he only took 1,000.
Yeah.
I only took 2 shots to the behind, sir. I only took 2 of the steroids. I didn't take all of them.
That's the old Roger Clemens and Andy Pettit thing, man. Well, Andy Pettit was smart. He came clean. So Noah tried to come clean, man. I just,
I love that so much that you just think Roger Clemens looked at Andy Pettit, like you see his head turn. Like, did you really?
He did though. Andy Pettit said, "Listen, man, I'm trying to get me a couple more innings in the pitch, man. You already know I'm trying to get me in." I wanted to ask you this though: as more names come out, right? And I don't understand what you might as well just put them all out there. But I think I think as they release more names, they're getting closer to say, "I told you so." I kept giving you time to tell me. I told you so. So I want to ask you this. I'm waiting for the one person or group that has targeted these athletes, right? Because it has to, you got the kicker.
Nebraska.
You got the kicker. You got a wrestler. You got a baseball player. You got a defensive tackle. There's somebody on campus or on somewhere that's recruiting these guys.
The call is coming from inside the house.
So it's got to be somebody that's you got a quarterback. You got people that it's not your usual suspects, but it is in some cases. But some cases it's totally. Defensive lineman.
Here's the question for you, Jay. What percentage is it that Kirk Ferentz knows who's done it all right now, that he will not be surprised by any name? What's the likelihood that I guarantee you that he knows everybody.
Same with Campbell. I'm assuming because this investigation has been going on for quite some time. So
right.
They've sat in his desk or talked to his lawyer or the school's compliance or whatever. And he has to know.
He knows.
He has to know the guys that at least been questioned. So if there's 20 names that have been questioned, I'm just assuming all 20 you knuckleheads bet. Now, until you start checking off the names, and I just assume all 20, you got to have an idea. He's not talking cold turkey.
Right? Like, he knows they coming. Like, he knows. Like, I've got 20 dirty students. And he could be proactive. This is the ones. It's always the people in charge. He could easily say, you know what? After these investigators just brought to my attention that they have information and they are investigating these players. So while we're being investigated, what he could say is while they're being investigated, as this investigation goes on, these players are put on hold. These players are put on pause. Like, he could do that. Instead, no, go practice. Go practice. Let's get ready. We ain't got nothing to see here. That's, again, I pay attention to who people are.
I think from the coach's standpoint, and this is an NCAA problem, I think they haven't done anything substantial. First of all, okay, the whole thing was like players getting paid in basketball. I don't know what that coach was they had on tape. Talk about we got a payroll. What was that? Sean Miller, right? He's coaching. Yeah,
he was on video and on tape.
Right. He's at Xavier right now, right? Xavier coaching. So if I'm in another sport or another coach, if you have him red-handed, wire transfers and talking to parents or whatever, it was a DeAndre Ayton or whatever, and he doesn't have a show cause, right? Then why would I worry about these kids on their own dime taking NIL money, going and betting on games? Now you do run into trouble when it's betting on games that you play in. In particular, the kicker is not getting enough run. I know he's a kicker, but the kick that I saw, I've seen him. Okay. I've been on pins and needles and waiting for a kick to go through. That man was at like 30 yards, and you a Power 5 scholarship kicker, and you hit it so bad it hit the band that was waiting to rush the field from the other team. And here's the best thing, DP. People came and pat him off the back. He was out. He's like, I'm out of here.
Deuces.
And
I told you they need to change the logo and just put the Iowa Hawkeye on the Deuces sign.
Here's the worst part. In a rivalry game, okay, that means a lot, right? And Iowa State beat you. You know, so I just think that there's going to be a lot more coming to it. I mean, some schools are proactive. Some are just waiting and testing your manhood. I'm wondering what the NCAA, if you want to get back in the good graces, you better do something.
Stay classy, Iowa. Stay classy.
Right. But it's Iowa State. It's something in Iowa.
It's in the water.
What about Drake? Northern Iowa? Any of them involved?
Just sitting back.
No, they ain't big enough.
Sitting back waiting.
They ain't on TV enough.
Nobody cares about the Cyclones.
You know,
even when they're winning. Like,
no, Drake isn't.
Meh.
Drake, that's not it.
Meh.
But really, to be honest with you, that's probably where you can make the most money because Drake got a basketball program.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. But really, what the NCAA isn't going to be able to puff their chest out about Drake. So
no, when I say Iowa, I'm talking about the whole state. Just for the record.
Well, if you ever been to Ames, Iowa,
yeah,
and you get out of the car, that stench burns your nostrils or your hair in your nostrils. I don't understand how you get people to go to that school because that thing right there, there was a mesothelioma or whatever.
Yeah,
if you're going to see stuff 10, 20 years. If you went to Iowa State.
Oh, yeah, there's going to be a lawsuit.
Right.
And that's the party school.
Right.
No, this is
they get you so drunk so you just don't smell nothing.
There's a comedian that says, yeah, go to my hometown because if you have a fatal sickness, go to my hometown. Because if you spend 2 weeks there, it'll seem like an eternity. That's Iowa. If you're really sick, if you have terminal illness, go to Iowa because 2 weeks will seem like an eternity.
I hear you, man. Oh, man, we're going to go to break, come back, short segment. We're going to talk about my man Cooper Flagg reclassifying. Jay Foreman, Austin, DP. Austin's going to be so excited that he's supposedly going to go to Duke, but I guarantee he doesn't end up at Duke. Jay Foreman, DP, Old School. We'll be right back.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Day by Day is the new documentary about Tom Osborne and the Nebraska Cornhuskers' decades-long pursuit of a national championship. Featuring interviews with former players and coaches, as well as famous fans like Peyton and Archie Manning, Larry the Cable Guy, and numerous NCAA and NFL legends. Day by Day is the riveting, untold story of one of the most dominant, celebrated, and controversial football teams ever. Opening in theaters on August 11th, visit daybydaymovie.com for details.
There's a buzz in the air at Kansas as drivers fight to move on to the next round of the playoffs. NASCAR Playoffs weekend at Kansas Speedway, September 8th through the 10th. Get your tickets today at kansasspeedway.com.
H&H Roofing, established in 2015, is proud to serve the local area, which includes the tri-state area in Nebraska, Iowa, and South Dakota. H&H Roofing has a professional team that are licensed and bonded, GAF Master Certified Installers, and an insurance-preferred contractor that will work directly with your insurance company. Also a leading roofer, siding, and gutter specialist. H&H Roofing will service all residential, commercial, and agricultural needs. Go to HNHroofs.com for more information or call 402-359-2540. 46.
Tune in to the Malone Radio Show from 9 to 10 p.m. every Sunday night to learn more about the Malone Center's goal to eliminate multi-generational poverty in Lincoln. It's the Malone Radio Show every Sunday night from 9 to 10 p.m. on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
You don't think about your roof very often, but you should never take it for granted. Roofing Service Company takes every measure to provide you with the highest quality roofing solution. Whether it's a new roof installation, roof repair, or a re-roofing project, their overall goal is to provide you with a pleasant experience and a long-lasting roof. If you have a need for siding or gutters, they're your place too. Visit roofingservicecompany.com for more info today.
Ironhide Construction has an immediate opening for an administrative assistant in their Lincoln office. The ideal candidate will have experience performing a variety of general office, administrative, and clerical duties. If you have excellent communication, interpersonal, and organizational skills, and are the type of person who enjoys keeping track of all the fine details, then this job is for you. Learn more online at ironhideconstruction.com/careers. Ironhide Construction. Quality buildings and genuine service at a reasonable price.
Eustace Body Shop, where our customers send their friends. That's the greatest compliment we can receive. If you've been in an accident, we'll get you back in your vehicle as quickly as possible. Our technicians care about you and your family and repair your vehicle to factory standards. We handle your claim from start to finish and provide a free loaner car. Stop by for a free estimate. Eustace Body Shop, just south of 88th and Highway 2.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
Lane's Cover Crop is your one-stop seed shop. Call us now for spring and summer forages, CRP mixes, and fall cover crop blends. We do farm-specific consulting for practical and efficient seed blends to fit your geography and goals. With a very diverse inventory, we will tailor a blend just for you. We're also looking for contract growers, and we buy and sell rye. Find us online at plainscovercrop.com. Timeless agronomy practices paired with modern technology. East Highway 20 in Orchard and across Nebraska.
Working at Continental in Lincoln isn't a job, it's a career. And right now, they've raised wages again, and they're hiring for production operators at $24.62 per hour, which grows to $28.97 per hour within 3 years. Skilled trade positions now start at $33.36 per hour, with opportunities to make more based on certifications. Continental also has salary jobs available and great benefits, plus medical and prescription costs at very low premiums. Dental, vision, and life insurance are offered at no premium cost to the associates, with increased bonuses and vacation for new hires. To learn more or apply, go to continentaljobs.com with keyword Lincoln. Come work at Continental today.
The days of internet contracts and heavy fine print are over. It's time to experience hassle-free service with no contracts or hidden fees. That's the Allo promise. Allo Communications provides fiber internet, TV, and phone services with fair and no-nonsense pricing. All backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee, 24/7 local support 365 days a year, and a monthly bill you can count on. Don't settle for gimmicks. Settle for hassle-free with Allo. Visit us at allofiber.com/hassle-free.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
This is Bud Seinhorst, President and CEO of LIBA, the Lincoln Independent Business Association. Join us every Saturday from 9 to 10 a.m. on 93.7 The Ticket for the LIBA Business Hour, as we discuss local business and highlight those who are thriving in the Lincoln area. It's the LIBA Business Hour, Saturdays from 9 to 10 a.m. on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Back to old school with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Well, we are back. Short segment before we get to the top of 5 o'clock hour. Let's send everybody to the weekend. Jay Foreman, DP, Austin coming out of the break. We alluded to that we're going to talk about your boy, Austin.
Soon to be.
Soon to
One
be.
year earlier, in fact.
Soon to be. But they said here, Cooper Flagg is a do-it-all 6'8", 1-5 player. Had a great Peach Jam first session and second session. was really dominant. 16-year-old kid, NBA frame already, plays the game, plays it team-oriented, but is very dominant, will play defense, and plays with great effort and intensity. So he doesn't really have a weakness in his game. And his brother is pretty dang good, too. They're twins, right?
Ace, yes.
Yeah, they're twin brothers. One's 6'8", another one's 6'5", and Ace just picked up an offer from UConn. Duke is the favorite. But the defending national champions, they say, are gaining ground fastly. So, and what he decided to do is reclassify to be in college a year early, obviously setting himself up to be in the NBA draft 1 year earlier as well. I think the Nike camp, getting information consulted by the likes of Jason Tatum, obviously it helped for Duke, LeBron, so forth and so on, helped him see the business aspect of it going forward. And so generally, me and Austin know, we usually deal with kids that reclassify the other way. Mess around, be 19, 20-year-old seniors in high school.
Call that Texas high school football.
Yeah, well, it's got up to Nebraska basketball. So it's big up for him. I was able to watch him, and he's done pretty well. Pretty dominant kid. He's fun to watch as well because he plays the game the right way. And he doesn't shy away from competition at a big moment. So happy for him. And hopefully he sets an example in the right way for kids to go about their recruitment. You know, he's up in Maine. He hasn't changed. You don't see him playing. He played for his main team, and they went down there and represented. So, you know, it doesn't matter where you're at, is what you do with it. And so look for him in about 8-9 months to be taking over.
I love it. He's coming to Duke. I feel very confident in
He's
that
still
fact.
not going to win a championship, though.
Well, not with Cooper Flag alone, but that's why.
But you've had number one recruiting classes before and lost to the likes of C.J. McCollum.
That has happened,
right?
Yeah.
I just wanted to just
I understand. I totally understand.
Okay,
but add Carlos Boozer's kids to the mix in 2024.
Both of them or just one?
Oh, both of them.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So you just think you're just going to get
it's
a
happening.
Peach Jam All-Star team and you think you're going to win?
Well, here's my thing on the reclassification.
Mm-hmm.
The last two guys that I remember at Duke that reclassed, Marvin Bagley, bust of an NBA career, but reclassed from Arizona to come to Duke.
Right.
National Player of the Year contention, ACC Player of the Year.
It was a good two-way player.
Insane.
Yeah.
And Tyrese Proctor, who came over from Australia last year, reclassed a year up. Took him a few games to get his feet under him. By the end of the year, he was probably Duke's best player as Filipowski was dealing with injuries. So this is something that Duke is used to in a weaker NBA 2024 draft class. It makes perfect business sense for Cooper Flag. Bull City, baby.
I mean, Austin.
Oh, but the number 4 recruit in the class, Koa Pete,
right?
Nebraska target. So he can come to Lincoln. We'll be happy with that.
So you're just going to give us one then, right? Thank you. You know what, Austin? We appreciate that. We know that Duke, you guys are used to having the upper echelon of players.
I'm laughing inside.
Where it counts. Laugh outside. Go for it.
And finding ways to dookie down your leg before the Sweet 16. And it'll be everybody else's fault because you guys have to play an ACC tournament, which everybody else plays in their tournament. But hopefully you get him across the finish line. I will enjoy watching him play. I also will enjoy watching him lose to a under-talented North Carolina team and a Georgia Tech team on an odd Tuesday night on ESPN.
That happens every year. That happens every year.
I just want to let you know. And
it shouldn't be the standard, but it happens every year, and it doesn't hurt me anymore because I'm used to it.
Okay. Well, I mean, you're a lot like Jake, man. You know, when we had the Big Red Brunch, the guy I was riding with from Omaha Steaks was a great dude, man. We were in there 9-10 holes talking about football, talking about this, and this, and then he told me he was a Dolphin fan. I looked at him and said, "Man, what's wrong with you? You lucky I'll know your boss. You should just be docked the day's pay."
Where was this information 10 holes ago?
Right. And he you know, he went in his bag and had a Dolphin driver cover that he had in his bag. So he didn't bring it out until he showed me. But the only saving grace was his buddy behind me was from Orchard Park, New York, which is where Buffalo Bills are located. So he made it with that. So it was all good. But hey, good first hour. We're going to come back to the top of the hour, talk some more stuff with Huskers. We're going to talk into these single digits. I don't think it's a thing that they're going to wear in the games, and I think it's more of a thing on a week-to-week basis. And hopefully get some more out of some players. You'd like to see one. Everybody get it. So Jay Foreman, DP, Austin. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Old School with DP and J. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. The home of Kansas City Royals baseball. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Grandma and Grandpa, Mom and Dad, then the kids, and now the grandkids. Judson Irrigation has provided lawn sprinkler system design, installation, repair, and service to 4 generations. They're just like members of the family. Loyalty, trust, service. It's what you deserve and expect from Judson Irrigation.
Keep summer green. Call Judson Irrigation 402-420-6277 or judsonirrigation.com.
Ironhide Construction has an immediate opening for an administrative assistant in their Lincoln office. The ideal candidate will have experience performing a variety of general office, administrative, and clerical duties. If you have excellent communication, interpersonal, and organizational skills, and are the type of person who enjoys keeping track of all the fine details, then this job is for you. Learn more online at ironhideconstruction.com/careers. Ironhide Construction. Quality buildings and genuine service at a reasonable price.
If you have concerns about your drinking water, just call Bryant. If your water doesn't look right, smell right, or taste right, Bryant can help. If your water has high levels of iron, Bryant can help. If you're tired of foggy dishes and dingy clothes, Bryant can help. Whatever your home water needs are, Bryant is here with a solution to fit your needs. Be sure about your water. Just call 467-1111. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. We do whatever it takes.
Integrated Life Choices has been inspiring opportunities for individuals with disabilities for more than 15 years in Lincoln and across Nebraska by offering a number of services. From group homes to independent living resources and job training, you'll find the support that allows people to live fulfilling lives. They're also hiring. If you're looking for a rewarding career supporting people with developmental disabilities, you can check out open positions along with learning more about services at ilc.net. Integrated Life Choices.
Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. Smoked meats, amazing sides. The only problem when they fix you a plate is that at some point, that plate will be empty. But hear me out. What if that plate was never empty? That dream can be your reality with the Mary Ellen's Express Lunch Buffet. From 11 to 2 every Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and even Saturday. One price, all you can eat, and it even comes with a drink. Tell your boss you're taking a long lunch and get down there. Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul at 29th and Pine Lake. Let them fix you a plate. Day by Day is the new documentary about Tom Osborne and the Nebraska Cornhuskers' decades-long pursuit of a national championship. Featuring interviews with former players and coaches, as well as famous fans like Peyton and Archie Manning, Larry the Cable Guy, and numerous NCAA and NFL legends, Day by Day is the riveting, untold story of one of the most dominant, celebrated, and controversial football teams ever. Opening in theaters on August 11th, visit daybydaymovie.com for details.
Tune in to the Malone Radio Show from 9 to 10 p.m. every Sunday night to learn more about the Malone Center's goal to eliminate multi-generational poverty in Lincoln. It's the Malone Radio Show every Sunday night from 9 to 10 p.m. on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This is Brad with Midwest Bank, proudly serving our Nebraska communities for over 70 years. We're a community bank, making local decisions, supporting local organizations, and helping local businesses and farms succeed. We are dedicated to serving our clients and helping them meet their financial needs with sound, innovative banking solutions. From an array of checking and deposit accounts, cash management services, to small business, real estate, and ag lending. We're here for you. Your community, your bank, Midwest Bank. Find out more at midwestbank.com. Member FDIC.
Our lives only have so much time. But if you smoke, you have less. Your life could be 10 years shorter. And the time you do have is often filled with health problems. Shortness of breath, asthma, COPD, and cancer. But the minute you quit, your body starts healing.
Call the Nebraska Tobacco Quit Line, 1-800-QUIT-NOW, 1-800-784-8669. Paid for by Tobacco Free Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is Old School, sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Broadcasting veteran Derek Pearson.
When you find something that moves them, that makes them smile, celebrate it. That's your task. That's your superpower.
Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman.
Rifles a pass. It was tipped. It's picked off by Foreman. He's at the 15, 10, 5. He'll score!
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What up? We are back. Jay Foreman, DP, Austin, top of the 5 o'clock hour before we step off into the weekend. Do we got Royals today, Austin?
6:30 pregame.
6:30. Okay,
Against
so
the
we're
Cardinals.
good. We got the whole hour. So the top of the hour, I want to put you guys on the spot. We didn't get to it yesterday, but we're going to even do it a little bit. We're even going to throw Austin a curveball here. We got to get him to pump his brakes, and he thinks this dude going to Duke. I'm going to ask Austin first off the cuff. Then we're going to go to DP.
Mm-hmm.
I want your top 5 college basketball teams of all time.
As in programs or as in individual
teams?
years?
I'm talking about the teams.
Okay.
That in your now look, we never saw UCLA play with Kareem and Bill Walton, so we're just gonna go in this.
Who didn't?
Well, you did, but we're talking to Austin. Austin didn't see, so we want to talk about what's your top 5.
I saw Lou Alcindor.
What's your top 5 team?
Okay. 2015 Kentucky, 38-1. Give me 2008, 2009 Carolina championship team. The Joakim Noah, Al Horford, Florida team is in that conversation. 2017 Villanova, who won the Natty. And that's just, again, this is teams I grew up watching.
Sure, yeah.
My
as it should be.
Yeah. And then I'll throw 2001 Duke in there.
Yeah, I know that if you didn't have a Duke team in there, then I would say you're not a real Duke
I saved them for last. I had to think through
which one?
Ones. Yeah.
What about you, DP?
I'm old, so I'm old though. So first of all, it's Alcindor,
sure,
and the Bruins. It's Walton, and the Bruins. It's David Thompson, Tom Burleson, Tim Stoddard, Monty Towell, Mo Rivers of the NC State, Norm Sloan. That's 4, and then the Jordan
baseline jumper.
That baseline team. I mean, you talk about Sam Perkins, James Worthy, Jimmy Black. Like, come on,
Sleepy Floyd.
Like, come on, that Georgetown team the following
Kenny
year
Smith.
is top 10.
Yeah.
But those are the ones maybe I'm missing. The perfect Indiana team with Scott Mays and Benson and company. Maybe they get in ahead of the Tar Heels because they were perfect.
Yeah.
But those perfect teams back in the day, I mean, legendary, just legend killers.
Yeah.
Like, first of all, I mean, UCLA, that run was on purpose. Like, okay, North Carolina State in any other era could play toe-to-toe with all of those UCLA great teams. So, yeah, that's where I would put it. I would stay in that space.
I'll probably go. I always say it. UNLV running Rebels. That's the best team I've ever seen. I still think I don't care what Eric say. You took money to lose that game. Okay, that's the best team. That's my number 1 team. The number 2 team is the team that beat them next year was Duke, Christian Laettner, and them because
Hurley, Hill.
Because they had everything. Mm-hmm. Cherokee Parks was coming off. Then I'm going to put the team that first of all, and I know I'm biased because I love him as a coach, is the Villanova team with Jay Wright because of the way that they played. I think they modernized. They took an NBA type of game, a la Golden State, brought it to Villanova, recruited his own way, pumped out legit NBA players at a higher rate than at times North Carolina for sure. couldn't say Kansas, but better players than Kansas. I'm going to say them. I'm going to throw the Fab Five in there because I actually got to see them play. They didn't win it, but I think when they are the only team to take Duke to when they were the Fab Five to the brink, and then obviously the next year was a timeout with Weber, and then it kind of blew up after that. And then I'm going to say the team that didn't win it, well, I think was one of the better teams that I got to watch, was the North Carolina team with Stackhouse, Rasheed Wallace, and those dudes. And I remember watching them. I mean, those games against Duke. Yeah, you could say Tyler Hansbrough, but I'm just talking about like Tyler Hansbrough can't handle Rasheed Wallace. Jerry Stackhouse looked like he was unstoppable at times. The next Jordan, even though he's built significantly different than Jordan. I think there's a lot of great teams that might not have won it that are one of the better teams. Because I think sometimes
Maryland still. I mean John Lucas, Tom McMillan, Lynn Elmore, Mo Howard, Jim O'Brien. That you had dudes, and you just couldn't get through because you had to beat David Thompson, Tom Burleson, and Bill Walton.
Well, it's not even that. Even like more recent Maryland teams. I mean, after that,
Juan Dixon.
I was about to say, Juan Dixon, my man Morris, that went to, he's old TJ from Frederick.
Mm-hmm.
Those teams are right on the cusp, but then here comes Duke, North Carolina, and all those type of guys. There's some really good teams that, even like when
the Stanton Othell Wilson team.
Right. And then even when you think of Michigan, right, with Ramil Robinson, they had Ramil Robinson, who played in the NBA forever, Glenn Rice, who was a better sniper than Chuck Person. Then they had the two big dudes, was it 55 and 52? I mean, they were loaded. You had Ken Riley coming off the bench at 7 foot. That was actually a stretch 4 and 5.
You
know
what
I mean? Coming
the
off
Syracuse team with Cyclee, Coleman, Sherman Douglas. That was a team that
Syracuse is a big letdown.
Yeah.
Because when they had Billy Owens and all those guys, they were the most talented, but they end up losing. And the grade 8 isn't a bad thing. But when you watch the Big East back then with them dudes,
I miss the old Big East.
I mean,
like the old Big East to me isn't the same old Big East to you guys, but that like mid to late 2000s and early 2010s Big East is one of my favorite basketball.
Everybody was good though.
Like I was in the wave of it, right? Mm-hmm. And so just to get one to not expect it, and two to be caught in the middle of it, and to watch Georgetown, UConn, Syracuse, Villanova, like
St.
John's with Walter Berry, Chris Mullen. That's another
Providence.
You could put in that.
I mean, Providence. You go up to Providence. I always say when you got to go up to a school like Providence, or like in football, you got to go to Purdue on a Friday night.
Yep.
That's a sleepy. You'll be watching ESPN. It'd be a sleepy night.
Jacksonville college basketball.
Right. But you're up there in Providence on a Tuesday night. They put you on at that time a late game.
Yep.
And next thing you know, you get up and try to, that's when they had Sports Center on like only twice a day, morning and night. Now it's all day. You think, Providence beat Georgetown by 15 points. And how did they lose? Well, they got you up there on a sleepy, you probably went to school all day.
You just played Syracuse in the Carrier Dome.
Right.
And then you go to Providence.
And then they would turn the heat up there.
Yeah.
So people don't understand back then, those schools would do some old school tricks. So they talk about the Carrier Dome with AC, right? Every time they would have no AC on and it'd be hot in there, even with football, right? And same with Providence. It was known like you'd see those guys sweating profusely, right? Well, they got the heat on up there. And so back then you do some old school tricks. But I always wanted to ask you guys that because I sent it to Austin yesterday. It was actually about the receivers in NFL because Tyreek Hill came out with his top 5 of all time. And we'll get into that. But I want to ask you this something, DP. I want to ask you about one player in particular.
Yeah.
And this is whether you guys would vote him in the Hall of Fame and I know the Hall of Fame's stupid, how they get guys in and who gets in or not. But I'm going to ask you better, not whether you'd vote him. Does he get in? Tyreek Hill's number 1 receiver of all time was Antonio Brown. Now, I will tell you this. His 6-year run. His 6-year run, though.
Get to the stream.
His 6-year run, there was never one like it, though. With Antonio Brown.
It didn't matter.
Oh, I know. I'm just saying. Do you think Antonio Brown
gets
into the Hall of Fame?
No.
under any circumstance?
No.
Austin?
Probably not. I don't think 6 years, even in the NFL where careers are shorter.
Oh, no,
I don't think 6
his
years
whole
is
career.
The 6 years doesn't matter.
No, he's got NFL numbers. I mean, he's got Hall of Fame numbers. There's no denying that. But that 6-year run, there ain't never been anything like it.
I say this again. For the Hall of Fame for me, is can you tell the story of the game and your position without talking about this person? Like that should be the standard to me.
That's what it's supposed to be. Yeah.
Right, like that's what it should like that's what it should be. So I'm not gonna lower. First of all, no. Second of all, like at some point you're off the field should have some impact. You quit on the game in the middle of a game. You quit on the game in the middle of the game.
Okay, well, here's it. He has
no, you can't come in, man.
Antonio Brown, Randy Moss, Calvin Johnson, Terrell Owens are his top 5. Oh, Torrey Holt.
Say it again.
Torrey Holt.
Okay.
Antonio Brown.
Okay.
Randy Moss.
Okay.
Calvin Johnson.
Okay.
Terrell Owens. Now, this is probably guys he's seen. Now, I'm assuming, right?
Like I don't. I despise the defense that I only speak about. Like the best can only be people I saw. Like
I'm hoping
for the sake of
I'm
that.
hoping it for him.
But this
I'm
is
hoping
the
it
problem,
for him.
right?
I'm
This is
hoping
the
it
problem.
because Jerry Rice is where he's the best.
This is the
football player,
problem.
right?
You immediately tell me I don't know. Tell me I don't know receivers without telling me I don't know receivers.
Right.
Like, wait a minute. You talk about Jerry. Wait a minute. The question for me is, okay, first you got to define it. Like, what does it mean? And then, can you tell the story of catching passes in the NFL without talking about the people? There's certain people that you talk about, and they transcend genres and eras. That they were that good. When you say receivers, the guy that nobody Art Monk should be at the top of everybody's discussion. Like, for what was done in an era where he had to block with the Hogs, bro, and still put up 100 catches in a year. First. He had to block for Riggins. You understand? Stop tripping. Stop tripping. This is why I put Irving Fryer up there. Because Fryer completed the game. Like, he did some things. Tyree, come on, man. Like, ask some questions.
I don't think these guys are answering. I think these guys don't think, so I think that probably, there's 29 receivers in there. I mean, you got to think, I'm assuming, there's some questionable guys in there that got in there, but you got to think, I could see Calvin Johnson, definitely Randy Moss, Art Monk's in there. So, I mean, I get it. I'm not really sure. I wouldn't say that he's, you could argue whether he's top 5, but when you're thinking, when you're up there, I love Torrey Holt, and he was a dude. Yeah, it's hard for me to sit up there because everybody's like, well, you're not a Hall of Fame. I'm not saying I am, but I know that Torrey Holt.
Henry Ellard was the guy on that team. Ellard was the guy that set the pace and the standard for Rams pass catching. Like, that's what,
back in the day.
And I don't know that he's the best Rams. Harold Jackson did it for 15 years.
Yeah. I mean, you got Biletnikoff and all these dudes and the guys. I mean, Steve Largent was the catch guy that would, before. And then obviously, guys like Randy Moss and stuff like that. Even like, I wouldn't put Chris Carter up there, but, he's a guy that definitely is on par with Torrey Holt, as far as where they rank. And these are Hall of Famers. Look, these are all guys that, next level guys anyways. I just found it weird that you have a guy that's, he came and said he's going to make the Hall of Fame. He's going to have 2,000 yards rushing or 2,000 receiving, which is great. Great goal and be lofty and all the other stuff. But it's kind of hard when you have Waddle over there getting the same amount of catches and targets as you, not to know his position. And I think that's part of actually this new generation, though. They don't really study
That part.
They don't really study the game. They study
the film's grainy. It's hard to watch, Jay. Even your expectations. We want it in HD.
Well, you could probably watch some of Jerry Rice's highlights. He played for like 85 years. I mean, he was out there. Jerry Rice went from the flat top when you wore the flat top that it never moved to when he had a little bit of hang time with the 5 head back there. Jerry Rice played for 20-some years. There's plenty of tape out there, and I'm sure if they watch it now, it's in 4K or whatever. And they know how to.
All you gotta do is watch 2 Super Bowls, and you know who that dude is. Like he's that deep. Biletnikoff, because of the finesse, like you have to talk about him. And for the finesse receivers, Biletnikoff's still at the top of that pyramid for finesse receivers, because then you got to look at guys. I'm old enough to remember Don Maynard, and you go, wait a minute, Bambi with Lance Alworth. You go, wait a minute, like there were some dudes. For him not to appreciate it or to look at it, this is when people have discussion. He's a track guy playing wide receiver. And that's when you go, look, you're devaluing the history of the game by not being respectful to it.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of these guys, I mean, it's hard to recognize older guys because you probably see some older receivers walking around like, man, how were you actually fast? But even though Tyreek Hill's fast, he ain't never going to be fast as Bob Hayes.
No,
he ain't never gonna
Bullet Bob was it.
Yeah, I mean, he's the first track guy that
Bullet Bob was. I mean, look, gold medal winner.
Yeah. You can run and do all that stuff you want. What you doing these trainers and do all that stuff. That dude can run.
Like we forgot.
Yeah,
like that's the thing. There's football that's forgot, and everybody thinks they know it now. No. There's a game before that built this, and there are dudes who were legitimate dudes, and you go through it. Look, it's the other side of it. You can talk about running with sprinters. Give me a defensive back that can run with a sprinter. Darrell Green did it. Yeah. Darrell Green said, "I'm faster." Ron Brown was an Olympic sprinter, and Darrell Green said, "Eat the back of my heels, like eat all of it." Like, he got Willie Gault. Yeah. Willie Gault was a world-class sprinter. Darrell Green said, "Watch me from the back. Watch me."
Yeah, see, that was back in the day, Austin. The NIL was. They would have these competitions, and so they would have the likes of Herschel Walker, Dale Green, Willie Gault, the fast guys, and they would be in Hawaii somewhere. They would get, be on the wide world of sports, and they would do. It would kind of be like a obstacle course. You do some, they do all different. Had Larry Allen doing bench. They would do that in the Pro Bowl. Well, they used to always have the fastest guys from that year. Darrell Green was winning every single, and it wasn't even. And the thing is. Darrell Green 5'8", 5'9", blowing past cats, and that's the thing. Being able truly to run, and he could sprint, and he was quick and everything. I think guys like Tyreek Hill, if they did a better job of learning their history, it actually make him a better player. Because there's things that Jerry Rice did, especially late in his career. Terrell Owens Terrell Owens. The thing I hate for him is. I think when he started to mature as a teammate, but he's always a great teammate. Well, I guess off the field, you got to think when he still was getting 900 yards. You know what I'm saying? He still could play. He could still probably play right now. Whereas if you learn from him and how they had to really run routes against some real press coverage, and that's why I think
part, Jay.
Right? That's right now.
Oh.
10,000 yards back in the day used to be the standard of wide receivers. I hate to say this with, obviously I'm sitting up here. I'm not playing anymore. Getting 10,000 yards now isn't that big of a deal.
Nope.
I mean, you got.
Okay, to that point, guys with 10,000 career yards. So Devontae Adams, if he's healthy, will get there this year. He's at 9,600. T.Y. Hilton had 9,800 across.
So just pretty much he had 10,000 yards.
Travis Kelce, Mike Evans, AJ Green.
So he played 8 years.
Deshaun Jackson, DeAndre Hopkins,
right.
Brandon Marshall,
right.
Julio Jones, Anquan Bolden.
Right. I'm gonna ask you this: Brandon Marshall right now. When you think of when Brandon Marshall played, what's the first thing to come in mind? He's pretty much a bigger version of Antonio Brown.
Yeah.
Horrible teammate. Ran his mouth. Multiple teams. He has Hall of Fame numbers, but he's Hall of Fame. I think it's
what's a different game. First of all,
it is, but I'm just saying you got some guys that don't deserve to go in.
Go and look at Drew Pearson and the battles that he had to go through going to playing your dad and them, where they would tackle him at the line of scrimmage.
Or just going against Lester Hayes. You know who Lester Hayes is? Austin.
I've heard you bring the name up.
Yeah.
Couldn't point to him.
Texas A&M.
He's in the top 5 of greatest cornerbacks ever.
He wore Stickum on his shoulder pads.
He just covered
what
dudes.
now?
Because he didn't. He was always afraid of drops. So if it hits his pads, and this is where they were like. It was like Stickum that you would get at like the truck stop that you need to put on like your brakes or something.
Goo.
Like thick. Like it's like this.
Goo.
And put it on you. So
like
they
football's pine tar?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And they fought.
But they wouldn't hide it though.
Yeah.
And then they would fight. Like literally, if you running down the field, Drew Pearson would run down the field, and you would see Nate Wright holding him, running with him.
Yeah.
And they're like, no penalty. Wasn't enough. Like now they're protected now.
That was back when you could clothesline cats, Austin.
You headshots?
Yeah.
Headshots?
George Atkinson.
Look, he retired Sammy White, bro.
Yeah. What they had one safety they called Dr. Death.
Dr. Death, man. George Atkinson and Jack Tatum.
Yeah.
No. Daryl Stingley was headed to the Hall of Fame. Played for the Patriots. When they talk about great receivers, he still may be in the conversation for greatest wide receivers to play for the Patriots. And Daryl Stingley, in a day, took him out. Jack Tatum took him out.
It was vicious.
Vicious hit.
Jack Tatum looked like he gonna hit you.
Like the Vikings Super Bowl against the Raiders, that was a mugging. That wasn't a football game.
Hey, you want to hear a funny story? Hey, after break, I'm gonna tell you a funny story. My dad told me about playing against the Raiders.
Yeah.
In the Super Bowl, it was in Pasadena.
Yes.
So the Rose Bowl. Jay Foreman, DP, Austin. We'll be right
Played
back.
a road game.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Day by Day is the new documentary about Tom Osborne and the Nebraska Cornhuskers' decades-long pursuit of a national championship. Featuring interviews with former players and coaches, as well as famous fans like Peyton and Archie Manning, Larry the Cable Guy, and numerous NCAA and NFL legends, Day by Day is the riveting, untold story of one of the most dominant, celebrated, and controversial football teams ever. Opening in theaters on August 11th, visit daybydaymovie.com for details.
John Henry's Plumbing, heating and air.
When it comes to your home or business, we know you have options, and that's why John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning gives you just that, options. We have plumbing, heating, and cooling memberships to serve all of your residential and commercial needs. We want to ensure you, your family, and your business are safe. Visit our website, jhlincoln.com, to find out more or call us at
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, heating and air.
This is Brad with Midwest Bank, proudly serving our Nebraska communities for over 70 years. We're a community bank, making local decisions, supporting local organizations, and helping local businesses and farms succeed. We are dedicated to serving our clients and helping them meet their financial needs with sound, innovative banking solutions. From an array of checking and deposit accounts, cash management services, to small business, real estate, and ag lending. We're here for you, your community, your bank, Midwest Bank. Find out more at midwestbank.com. Member FDIC.
Eustace Body Shop, where our customers send their friends. That's the greatest compliment we can receive. If you've been in an accident, we'll get you back in your vehicle as quickly as possible. Our technicians care about you and your family and repair your vehicle to factory standards. We handle your claim from start to finish and provide a free loaner car. Stop by for a free estimate. Eustace Body Shop, just south of 88th and Highway 2.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club, or space club, and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? No, forget that. How about a margarita club? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge and join the best club in town. 10 flavors of margarita, like Maui Wow, burnt pineapple, and mango tango. Try all 10 of them and receive your own souvenir margarita glass. Make it your new Monday night tradition. $4 margaritas and $4 taco baskets. Grab the crew and head on over. Monday nights or any night. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
Load up on meat and more this summer at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese at 84th and Havelock. This week's specials through August 15th are $2 off packaged grass-fed, grass-finished New York strip with limit of 2 per visit. And don't forget to check out their Friday feast this week and every week. Plus, big news, They have 2 new locations now open at 30th and Yankee Hill in Lincoln and 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Gray Diesel and Equipment Services is hiring and seeking motivated applicants. Gray offers a second-to-none benefit package that includes health, dental, vision, 401k, paid vacation, and paid holidays. They offer great pay and tuition reimbursement or a tool purchase program for qualified candidates. It's a fun, friendly team with lots of variety and work assignments, so there's something for everybody. View and apply for their job openings today at grayusa.com. Visit them in person just off I-80 and North 56th Street. Come be a part of the Gray difference.
Vershawn Jackson for Brant Excavating. Brant's been in business for 29 years, and they specialize in a variety of things. If you're looking for someone to get the job done in precision demolition, excavating, trucking, mass grading, and site prep, Brant is the place to call. To set up a quote or learn more, call Brant Excavating at 402-474-4113 or go to brantexcavating.com. They're also hiring, so join the team today. Brant Excavating, a part of the Bauer brand, who reminds you, go Big Brand!
This is Bud Seinhorst, President and CEO of LIBA, the Lincoln Independent Business Association. Join us every Saturday from 9 to 10 a.m. on 93.7 The Ticket for the LIBA Business Hour, as we discuss local business and highlight those who are thriving in the Lincoln area. It's the LIBA Business Hour, Saturdays from 9 to 10 a.m. on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hey, moms and dads, bring the whole crew to a Salt Dogs baseball game and unleash the fun. Visit Haymarket Park all summer for fireworks Fridays, souvenir Saturdays, Sunday family fun days, and more. With 50 home games, even weekdays can be unforgettable. Planning an event? Make it a home run with group discounts. When you need an outing the whole family will enjoy, unleash the fun with the Salt Dogs. Call 402-474-2255 or visit saltdogs.com for tickets.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
The Lincoln forecast for today, mainly sunny skies, but there is a slight chance of some later in the afternoon. Otherwise, it'll be a hot one today. We'll see a afternoon high of around 93. Tonight, mostly clear with a low of around 67. And tomorrow, we'll see mostly sunny skies with an afternoon high of around 59. Meteorologist Kyle Puckett for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Back to old school with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We are back. J Foreman, DP, Austin, old school. We're in effect a little nostalgia day today, man. We don't have to always talk about Huskers. We talk about a plethora of things just because we got it like that. But we ended up on talking about the difference of eras, and I was about to tell a story about what it took me some courage to ask my dad about when they lost Super Bowls, right? Because he played on some great teams, and he said the best team that he was ever on, they never got it because of the non-call of pass interference for Drew Pearson at home at the Met, which is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely offensive pass interference.
Coke bottles flying everywhere.
Right, yeah. Referee, we need to track him down. But I asked him about playing Jack Tatum and the Raiders, and so Bud Grant, he didn't have a lot of rules, but he had certain rules like when you travel, he wanted to know, sport coats and suits and everything, and so there must have been a function that the two teams go to, and my dad said that, they had everybody's, looking good, got the haircuts, and all that, got the suits on. So they were getting off the bus, all of them suited and booted. Here come the Raiders. Leather jackets, chains. He said two of them came up in motorcycles. My dad said, listen, man. He said some of them dudes was intimidating. He said them Raiders were like a gang. And so I was asking him about John Madden. And I got to meet John Madden once. And he's like, oh, your dad's a great player and all
Did
this.
you get in the Madden mobile?
No, I didn't. But, he had broke down out there in Kearney or something like that. But I didn't. I met him actually when I was playing. And so, he's talking about my dad, whatever. And so my grandma, who was like, that was football, was our thing. I talked about, watching Redskins in Pittsburgh every year in training camp would be on we'd sit up there. I would not go outside. It was like a special tradition. I'd get up, probably eat Frosted Flakes, kick it. We'd watch it and evaluate everything. And she taught him, she's like, I do not like that John Madden. and because they were close, right? And she was like, he used to say, you know, you got to tackle Chuck Foreman, we got to corral him, we got to grab his legs, you got to break his legs. And she was like, she was like, he was talking about breaking my baby's legs. You know, so she was hey, I met you all the way up until she passed away, man. Rest in peace. She was mad at John Madden, man. She was like, she said John Madden was over there. You gotta break his legs.
She knew.
Yeah,
she knew.
man. You know, and so you know, I asked my dad about the Super Bowls. He's like, they played really bad against Pittsburgh. He felt like some guys were intimidated. He said they lost the game. He said the one against the Dolphins hurt the most because that's the one that they kind of were in it, kind of like the Broncos, and they lost it. Now, he did say this. He said one teammate that's grown to prominence that nobody ever really likes or hangs out, never around it. If you watch the social media stuff, you see Alan Page, Carl Eller,
Fran
my
Tarkenton.
dad, you know, you won't see Fran. You see Ed White, they got a big theater this weekend. Paul Krause will come. You know, he lives in a big cabin. He'll get off the lake and fish, and he's great. You know, all those guys will come. Wally Hilgenberg and all that. They talked about whenever they got to the Super Bowl, it became about one player, and he had always changed the offensive scheme. Always. He said that was the biggest thing that Jerry Burns told me. He's like, because I asked Jerry about it first, and he's like, we somehow, some way, always not dance with the girl that got us there. And so that's where, you know, they had some great teams and some great players. You got to think that the Purple People Eaters, those four dudes, I mean, you think of when Gary Larson is just kind of like an afterthought, when you got Jim Marshall, Alan Page, and Carl Eller. I mean, heck, Carl Eller looked like he could play right now. And you got to think, you know, like Matt Blair was a draft choice. You had Jeff Seaman. I mean, they had some great teams. So, but some of the stories he talked about the Super Bowl, when he said the Raiders were over there in leather jackets and dead chains and baseball bats, he was like, "Oh, it's gonna be a long game." And he said when they hit Sammy White, he said Sammy White got right up though,
took his helmet clean off.
Yeah, he did the helicopter. That was the first helicopter.
Sage Rosenfels wasn't the first?
No, actually, you know who else got him? Did you ever see Reuben Foster hit Deshaun Watson national championship game?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Head hunt.
Got him.
Yeah, he got him real good. He got everybody. I mean, he had Leonard Fournette put him to sleep. But yeah, I mean, look, man, football is a different game and different standards. You know, I think a lot of guys, you know, sometimes get in a little bit too quick because they get involved in the media and they streamline them in there. I love Michael Irvin, but when he was on the NFL Network and he was telling guys, "Oh, we'll get you in next year," like to me, that's. Of course, it's not fair, but it's not right. You know, guys get in it, you know, at certain times. I mean, heck, big ups to Roger Craig because he's pretty tight with my dad that he finally, you know, is getting his thing. And so hopefully that'll streamline some more multi-purpose backs up in there. But, you know, it's never an easy process. There's a lot of great players that sometimes get overlooked and stuff like that. But, you know, some guys get in that are a little bit questionable, but it is what it is.
Well, it's the Roger Craig, Gary Clark, Gradishar. Like there's some folks that come to mind immediately, and you know that their place in the game, their moments in the game, big moments in the game, whether you won a Super Bowl or not, they still play. Gradishar played in just some amazing ball games.
Right. Yeah.
Played against great competition.
A lot of times the only guy that could play defense in Denver.
Yeah.
And so
him and Mecklenburg were the two guys.
That was it.
The defensive backs weren't getting it.
They were garbage.
Yeah, like
I mean, then
it was tough. I mean, you know, Thompson and Steve Wilson and
they wasn't getting it done.
You know, like those are my guys. Those are my guys. But I understand, like, because he coached at Howard University. We did broadcasts for him. Matter of fact, when Pep was his quarterbacks coach, Pep Hamilton was Steve Wilson's quarterback coach at Howard because he played at Howard. And when I came from Charlotte to DC, they hired me to come in and set up their broadcast along the way. And you got to see how bad it was. Tony Lilly, who's now one of the top 10 football coaches in the state of Virginia, down in Woodbridge. A lot of Broncos were in that area, man. And they tell us they got close. And then they did celebrate when they finally won it under Elway and Davis. But man, there's some dudes that were out there that deserve there's some running backs who were better than Davis.
It just depends on what you look. He wins some Super Bowls. He had the 2,000-yard season, so you can't.
I'm not mad that he's in.
No, you can talk about it and stuff, but just for the thing.
But your dad, until your dad gets in, it's not right. Like it's just.
Here's the thing. For some people, they'll make excuse production. Then some people they'll say the production doesn't matter because you're in the Super Bowl. Well, if that's the case, then Trent Dilfer needs to be in there. Same with Brad Johnson. But I want to ask you this, Austin. Since I'm looking here, Jordan Love, and it's the year of the new quarterback, right? Whether it's straight from C.J. Stroud, and other rookie quarterbacks starting, Jordan Love finally getting his chance. Richardson started. If he's not starting now, for me, if I was the coach, GM, and if I was a Colts fan, I'd want him to start. I feel like the worst he can play is better long term than Gardner Minshew. All things withstanding, I think the offensive line will bounce back. What are your expectations, and what do you want to see from him, even if he doesn't start right away? Or what do you want to see from the preseason? And I think they'll play him even during the regular season if he isn't starting. They'll have some sort of pack. They're going to bring him along in some form or fashion. What do you want to see from him?
Progress.
Right.
Super raw, kind of in the Mitchell Trubisky boat where he didn't start a lot of games in college.
Right.
And that's why the Bears fell in love with Trubisky, was the traits. He could throw on the run, had a good enough arm. Turns out it was the processing that was behind. Anthony Richardson hasn't played a lot of high-level, high-speed snaps yet. Right. So I want to see progress as the year goes on. I want to see him. He's going to try to make big plays early. I don't think being too passive is going to be an issue because Florida called on him to be Superman at too many times. So I want to see him not put the weight of the world on his shoulders. And the biggest thing in year one that I want to see is that he starts to command that locker room. And I say that it's going to be kind of hard to measure, but Michael Pittman Jr. is a guy I really like as a wide receiver.
Oh, yeah.
I think he could. No, I'm not going to say, the next Manning Harrison or anything, but Anthony Richardson needs a number one receiver. Michael Pittman Jr. is already there. If Anthony Richardson can show Michael Pittman Jr. enough, create enough of a connection there, and convince the front office to keep Michael Pittman Jr. around, keep that relationship working, that's huge. If he can, I don't think he's going to get through to Jonathan Taylor. I think that ship has sailed, but win over enough of the locker room to keep enough of the interesting, fun, young pieces around to build a nucleus. I don't want to put statistical benchmarks on him.
Sure.
Because I think it's going to be rough. I don't want to see him, taking unnecessary hits. Run the ball, use your legs. It's going to help open some stuff up for you, but don't be reckless with it. And be better by week 17, week 18 than you were week 1.
Well, I mean, heck, when you draft Josh Downs, who was a record-setting ACC receiver, in the 3rd round, you're doing something right as far as skill position, because you got to think they got Isaiah McKenzie, who I think is going to have a breakout year. You got Pittman, Alec Pierce, who's kind of like under the radar, right? I mean, because look, when you
don't mind him,
but he's like you when you think of receivers, there you're going to think Pittman Jr. And then you got the offensive line that I still think is one of the best in the league. I think they collectively just had a bad year off. And then I think, Mo Alley Cox, even though he's not listed as a starter, he's a problem matchup wise. No,
I'm kind of done with him. He can play a role.
Hey, don't talk. There'll be no.
I love Mo Alley Cox.
There'll be no VCU Ram disrespect on this program.
I mean, he's a basketball player.
Zero.
I mean, come on, there, Austin.
Zero VCU Ram disrespect on this program.
You like him?
I like him. I'm over the he's a basketball player playing football.
Leave me alone.
Well, I'm saying
I'm fine with him.
I think if they could just red zone him instead of I think they went too fast to, he is a matchup problem because he's 6'8" and can jump and do all that. Oh, now you can be our starting tight end and play 80 plays. That was way too. You went from 8 plays to 80 plays.
Yeah,
and it's too much.
Well,
guess how many tight ends the Colts have on their
I'm looking right
their
now.
roster right now.
How many?
12. 9. Yeah. I thought I was going to say 12.
9 tight ends on their fall camp roster.
Wow.
Well, what does that tell you?
Y'all got bigger problems.
Important position.
Yeah, but y'all got a problem.
That means they ain't got none.
Yeah, you got a problem.
Just like when you say you got 3 quarterbacks, you don't got none. You got 9 tight ends. You got 0.
You got none. Let's send a shout out before we go to break. Let's send a shout out to the Johnson family. Kate Johnson suffered a concussion last night, transported to Harborview Medical. He's fine, but he suffered concussion. It's pretty scary at the moment. We had reached out to Cluster last night and let him know, hey, man, we're thinking about you. So from 93.7 The Ticket and Husker Nation, we're rooting for y'all, man. Hope you're feeling better and look forward to your return.
Yeah, no doubt, man. That stuff is, they have to be extra cautious. But anytime that you see it, until you get the A-OK, it's always, on pins and needles. So glad that I'm just reading here where Pete Carroll, even last night, said they got a good report. You got a text message from Cluster. So glad he's on the upswing. He's a tough kid. He'll be back out there. Just want him to be cautious and go out there when they got all this stuff together. So
yeah, man.
With that being said, we're going to go to break. Also, JoJo Doman is listed as backup Sam linebacker. So, look, he's still hanging around doing his thing. But Jay Foreman, DP, Austin, we're going to go to break and then send you guys off to the weekend.
You're listening to Old School with DP and J. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Gray Diesel and Equipment Services is hiring and seeking motivated applicants. Gray offers a second-to-none benefit package that includes health, dental, vision, 401k, paid vacation, and paid holidays. They offer great pay and tuition reimbursement or a tool purchase program for qualified candidates. It's a fun, friendly team with lots of variety and work assignments, so there's something for everybody. View and apply for their job openings today at grayusa.com. Visit them in person just off I-80 and North 56th Street. Come be a part of the Gray difference.
Load up on meat and more this summer at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese at 84th and Haviland. This week's specials through August 15th are $2 off packaged grass-fed, grass-finished New York strip with limit of 2 per visit. And don't forget to check out their Friday feast this week and every week. Plus, big news, they have 2 new locations now open at 30th and Yankee Hill in Lincoln and 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Hi, Sean Callahan here of HuskerOnline.com, inviting you to join us here on 93.7 The Ticket every Saturday morning now in our new time. We're on from 8 to 9 with the weekly Husker Online radio show. We'll give you the latest in recruiting. We'll talk about what's going on with both football, basketball, and we'll probably share a few stories from the inside. It's every Saturday morning right here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's the Husker Online radio show from 8 to 9 a.m.
Arnold's Tavern in Havelock is the place to be this summer and the best place in town for shuffleboard. Come on Wednesdays and learn from some of the best players in town for the Shuffleboard Corner. Come on Sundays for Open House League all day starting at 11 a.m. and enjoy $3 tall boys and $3 wells. Shake off the start to the work week with karaoke on Monday nights. And don't forget, happy hour is every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and you are always welcome to bring in your own food. Arnold's Tavern in the heart of Havelock.
Vershawn Jackson for Brandt Excavating. Brandt's been in business for 29 years, and they specialize in a variety of things. If you're looking for someone to get the job done in precision demolition, excavating, trucking, mass grading, and site prep, Brandt is the place to call. To set up a quote or learn more, call Brandt Excavating at 402-474-4113 or go to BrandtExcavating.com. They're also hiring, so join the team today. Brandt Excavating, a part of the Bauer brand, who reminds you, go Big Brand!
There's a buzz in the air at Kansas. Maybe it's the roar of fans here at the track, or the anticipation of the playoffs as drivers fight to move on to the next round and keep their championship hopes alive. Maybe it's the pulse of the heartland, the thrill of speed, or the sounds of grills sizzling in the campgrounds. Whatever it is, it will be one memorable weekend. NASCAR Playoffs Weekend at Kansas Speedway, September 8th through the 10th. Get your tickets today at kansasspeedway.com.
Are you working in or looking to get into the electrical construction industry? The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
This is Brad with Midwest Bank, proudly serving our Nebraska communities for over 70 years. We're a community bank, making local decisions, supporting local organizations, and helping local businesses and farms succeed. We are dedicated to serving our clients and helping them meet their financial needs with sound, innovative banking solutions. From an array of checking and deposit accounts, cash management services, to small business, real estate, and ag lending. We're here for you. Your community, your bank, Midwest Bank. Find out more at midwestbank.com. Member FDIC.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club, or space club, and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? No, forget that. How about a margarita club? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge and join the best club in town. 10 flavors of margaritas like Maui Wowie, burnt pineapple, and mango tango. Try all 10 of them and receive your own souvenir margarita glass. Make it your new Monday night tradition. $4 margaritas and $4 taco baskets. Grab the crew and head on over Monday nights or any night. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
Back to Old School with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We are back about 2 or 3 minutes, Austin.
We got 3 or 4.
3 or 4 minutes. Jay Foreman, DP, Austin, bringing you back. Quick segment before we send it up.
No, let me set the table.
Oh, go ahead then.
Let me set the table tomorrow, 12 noon. Colts versus Bills.
See you Monday.
I don't think that there's nothing on the line right now with the Colts versus Bills. The Bills are still trying to figure out who they are and what they're doing. But, it's always good to see the teams out there playing. Football's, as you start to get multiple preseason games, then you really realize football's starting. The first one, obviously, Hall of Fame game, then there's nothing. Then you got to wait till the next week. Once football season starts and there's games going on, the weeks start to go by quickly. And then because you got to think, you got Monday Night Football, Tuesdays off, Wednesdays Mac Nation, Thursday Night Football, NFL, or sometimes college. You get Friday night, obviously Big Ten earlier in the season. Then Saturday, Sunday goes second to none. So when you got that football fix, especially in that first part of like September, October, it's a lot, man, and that's what's the best thing about it. It's starting to get started. The Huskers are knee deep in it. Tomorrow's a big day for a lot of players.
Scrimmage.
It is, because you know what? It's the second week. You got one more week. I always say that last week is just dotting the I's and crossing the T's and getting everything,
to change your place, man.
And so
hey,
it's not the end all be all. But you could really take a huge step forward with the week that you had this week. And tomorrow should be no different than anything you did Monday through Friday, because you're playing against the same guys. There's the same calls. Yes, you might have a little bit of scrimmage or simulated scrimmage, because I guess there's a number of plays you can go live, whether it's technically a scrimmage or not, for whatever they're doing. And then you have a day off Sunday from physical activity. So you want to end on a positive note. And, when you're sitting out there to have, when you're in competition, these are the days that you look back upon. I'll tell a quick story before, we obviously go off the show. I remember played 3 years in Buffalo. The first year is kind of like a lot of these guys that they've anointed already, right? Kind of like maybe Teddy Proska or something like that, where I was coming off the bench and I played at the end of the season and I would clean it up like a mug, Austin. I mean, I was like, dang, this is easy. 15 tackles, 18 tackles. Wade Phillips like, dang, dude, you got. So I'm thinking like I'm just as good as the starters, right? So the second year, I start out rotating, and more or less it was like they would go 3 series and I get 1. I still was playing decent, but I knew my role, right? Sam gets hurt. Sam Coward, who was a mentor of me, he gets hurt out the rest of the season. Boom, I take off. Third year, do well. Right, kind of keep going, and then, but the thing is, I was always kind of like I was a late round draft choice, so I was always kind of looked at upon like, then they drafted Corey Moore from Virginia Tech, so it was always, and Mel Kiper's like, oh, this dude's going to be starting, and that was Greg Williams' first year, right? And so you start over. It's kind of like Matt Rule, like, yeah, you did well before, whether it's transfer portal or somewhere else, they drafted this dude thinking he's going to take your spot. Well, I'm going in a contract year, homie. You ain't. I got to eat, And I remember being in a training camp competition, and Corey couldn't play linebacker because all he did was play rush. It took him some time to learn how to drop and do it. And Corey's great. He's a lawyer now or whatever. We're still friends. So they kind of made okay, we're going to just have you rush the passer. And he was effect third down. Well, then it was me and this guy. I think Kenyatta, right? We were battling. And I remember going into like the third preseason game, they were like, and I've been starting, the first game I played like 6 plays, and I don't think I might have had an assist tackle. I remember linebacker coach was like, hey, they might start the other dude, right? All week, and they I was like, oh, okay. Third preseason game, we're playing Pittsburgh. There's Jerome Bettis, Alan Faneca, all them dudes. Ain't no time to, like the president end up playing well, then the rest is history. Did well that 4th year, parlayed that into, good 4th year, rest is history. So sometimes you need to have your back against the wall. I didn't feel like I still was doing well on special teams, but you want to start because it sets you up for the future. So a lot of these guys are facing it tomorrow. There's no reason to run away from it. Just go to embrace it. So I wish them all the luck. Get out there early so they don't have to face that heat and that humidity. But we appreciate everybody listening. Definitely appreciate the Mercado. Again, appreciate all the listeners and the support. I do enjoy you guys coming up and hollering at me at different establishments, Hy-Vee and Sam's Club. Let me use your points next time, but it's all good. Hey, I need some discounts on gas, man. Hook a brother up.
Yes, please.
But Jay Foreman, DP, Austin, have a great weekend, and we will talk to you on Monday.
Load up on meat and more this summer at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese at 84th and Havilah. This week's specials through August 15th are